Keir Starmer lecturing people about being unpatriotic is a joke, isn't it? I mean, the guy is he comes from the strand of left-wing thinking that hates our country.
Keir Starmer hates our country, says Liz Truss in an interview where she chided the Prime Minister for calling others unpatriotic when they criticised his government.
That loves international institutions like the UN, international law, the EU. That is Starmer. He hates our country, and he comes from a long line of the left who think that way. So it's a bit of a cheek, him saying that.
She was referring to the Prime Minister's attack on Nigel Farage when he spoke at the US Congress about Britain's attitude to free speech.
Well, Mr. Speaker, of course, the honourable member for Clacton is not here representing his constituencies in the House that he was elected to. No, he's flown to America to badmouth and talk down our country. And worse than that, Mr. Speaker, if you can believe it, he's gone there to lobby the Americans to impose sanctions on this country which will harm working people. You cannot get more unpatriotic than that. It's a disgrace.
Farage had said this in Washington.
This could happen to any American man or woman that goes to Heathrow that has said things online that the British government and British police don't like. It is a potentially big threat to tech bosses, to many, many others. This legislation we've got will damage trade between our countries, threaten free speech across the West because of the knock-on roll-out effects of this legislation from us or from the European Union. So I've come today as well to be a klaxon, to say to you, don't allow, piece by piece, this to happen here in America. And you would be doing us and yourselves and all freedom-loving people a favour if your politicians and your businesses said to the British government, you've simply got this wrong. At what point did we become North Korea?
And the Reform leader had previously called the Prime Minister unpatriotic himself.
This Prime Minister has no connection with working people, no connection with what we used to call working class communities. His leadership, frankly, is dismal. It is uninspiring. It is disconnected from real life. It is, in my view, unpatriotic. And now, even opinion polling today suggesting that over half the country thinks his leadership, frankly, is pointless.
Many Brits feel neither Keir Starmer nor Labour are patriotic. This summer saw thousands of flags flown across Britain in defiance of an elite many felt were at odds with the idea of love of country. Mr Starmer dismissed the patriotic rebellion as people hating their neighbours.
And to those who say that the only way to love your country is to hate your neighbour because they look different, I say, not only do we reject you, we know that you will never win because the British values we stand for, not just the rule of law, but a love for this country and our neighbours, the respect for difference under the same flag, that is stronger than bricks, and you know it. It's what you cannot stand about our country, our reasonable, tolerant country, but it's absolutely who we are.
Just as the Prime Minister cast those demanding answers for the grooming gang scandal as far right.
And when politicians, and I mean politicians, who sat in government for many years, are casual about honesty, decency, truth, and the rule of law, calling for inquiries because they want to jump on a bandwagon of the far right.
The founder of the Raise the Colours movement, Elliot Stanley, felt the Prime Minister had misrepresented those proudly flying the flag and what they stood for.
Now, Keir Starmer is planning to reclaim the British flag from so-called far-right protesters in a bid to tackle divisive populism. In a speech expected to be delivered later this week, we believe on Friday, the Prime Minister will reinforce that the St George's and the Union flags are for every citizen and should be inclusive, symbols of unity. Now, the move follows a recent demonstration, of course, where hundreds of thousands waved British flags at a rally led by Tommy Robinson, the Unite the Kingdom March in London. Let's now speak with the founder of the Raise the Colours movement, Elliot Stanley. Elliot, a pleasure to have your company once again. Sir Keir Starmer is expected to take to the airwaves on Friday, calling people like you far right. How does that make you feel?
Well, it's part of the course, unfortunately, isn't it? Anybody that's slightly conservative, he's now deemed as far right. You know, who knows who the far right is? Hopefully, he can explain it to us all on Friday.
Well, I mean, it seems like most people now fall into that bracket. If you're a patriot, a stick up for your country, believe in border control. The speech, we believe, is going to include references to Euro 96, when Sir Keir Starmer said he stood on the terraces as England were victorious. Maybe he jinxed it because, of course, we got knocked out in the end. But on a serious point, you've been putting up hundreds, if not thousands, of flags all across the Birmingham area. And I believe you're ringing to local Asian business owners, and far from treating you like you're far right, they're shaking your hand.
Oh, I mean, we were out last night. We put another 150 up last night. The chap that owns the local curry house come out. He said, "Can you put one above his door?" A chap that owns a microbar come out. He gave us some bottles of beer, thanking us. You know, we've had tremendous support last night alone. It was absolutely fantastic. It's so heartwarming. We did have an incident with somebody being highly abusive to us. He was a middle-class white chap riding his bike, and he was screaming obscenities to us, which we, you know, duly ignored. But everybody else was supportive. People coming, stopping cars, hugging us, giving us bars of chocolate, trying to donate us cash. You know, the support's overwhelming. It's fantastic.
And Elliot Stanley, we've got a video that you sent through earlier on of your co-founder here. Let's take a look at that, and perhaps you can talk us through what's happening on screen. Let's get it on our screens now. So if you talk through Elliot Stanley, when we get this playing, what's happening here?
So this young lady, she stopped us. She was walking home from a shift, and she stopped us and said, "Can I please have a flag? I'd like to display one above my door." We asked if she'd wanted St George's a Union flag, and she asked for the Union, and we kindly give her one. And she actually took a selfie with Ryan when he was giving her the flag. She was over the moon, you know, and that's typical for the type of response we have off people. I had 3 different taxi drivers stop me yesterday and asked for flags to put in to display on the back of their black cabs. It's, you know, as I said, the support's overwhelming. It's just the odd occasion where we get people that, for some reason, despise the flag. They don't want to see it flying proudly from lampposts, to the point, in fact, that on one of the main roads that we put some up last night, I mean, we finished about 9:30 last night, about 10 of them had been took down by 7:30 this morning. So we're actually going out again tomorrow night to go and erect them higher tomorrow. So hopefully they won't be removed quite so speedily.
Yeah, I know your boys. I don't think you're going to stop anytime soon. The point I want to make to you and to get across to the nation, Elliot Stanley, is that in Sir Keir Starmer's speech, he's expected to refer to an incident where Chinese takeaway was graffitied. And we can all agree that that's absolutely disgusting. But you're saying in Indian takeaways, Indian ladies going home from a shift on the street in Birmingham, they're coming up to you, and it's the exact opposite of what we're being fed by the Prime Minister. We're being fed that everyone who's an ethnic minority hates this, and everyone who's partaking in it is far right.
The 3 taxi drivers stopped me last night. All of them were Asian. I had a Muslim chap come up to us last night. He explained that he was Muslim. That's how I know he was Muslim. And he was so for what we're doing. He was so encouraging. And he said, "Look, we explained that this isn't about race." He said, "I know it's not. It's the flag of our country. You know, it should be flying proudly," and that's typical. That's the typical response we have from all ethnicities. It's just the only problem we ever have is from, as I hate to say, and I keep reinforcing it, but white middle class people, so-called liberals, I may add.
OK, well, look, let's leave it there. Thanks once again for joining us and sharing those pictures and those videos. It's an absolute pleasure. Elliot Stanley, and give my regards to your pal Ryan there back in Brum. Thank you very much.
Nick Dunning, GB News.